We're looking at applications of trig classwork. So make sure you have the classwork one up. It looks almost exactly the same, but it says homework on the other side. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at that classwork. For each of the following, we're going to sketch the situation, making sure to include any known and unknown side lengths and angle measures. Then use trigonometric ratios to find out the unknown information. So the first thing we're going to do, I think, is we should write SOHCAHTOA at the top. SOHCAHTOA. Okay? For sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay? A boy flying a kite lets out 300 feet of string, which makes an angle of 38 degrees with the ground. Assuming that the string is straight, how high above the ground is a kite? Okay, so for all of these, we know we're going to draw what kind of shape? Right triangles. Okay. We just have to figure out what side or whatever they're talking about. So a boy is flying a kite. When you fly a kite, is it straight up and down in the air? It's kind of to the side, right? So that's my kite string. All right, here's my little kite. There's my string. That's 300 feet long. Okay? Which makes an angle with the ground. So here's the ground. Angle with the ground of 38 degrees. Assuming the string is straight, how far above the ground is the kite? Want to know how far? So the hardest part of this is really drawing that triangle first, figuring out where each of those pieces should lay. Do we agree that this is right? The string and the ground make a 38-degree angle. The string's 300 feet, and we're trying to find how far it is off the ground, right? Questions about that so far? Okay. What we're looking at, 38 degrees is my angle. So what is 300 to 38 degrees? Is it opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Hypotenuse. So I'm going to put a little h. What is x? Opposite or adjacent? Opposite. So when we use O and H, which one of these do we use? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine. So we're going to go sine, and what's my angle that I'm looking at? 38 equals what? X over 300, right? Opposite over hypotenuse. So far, so good? Okay. How am I going to get x by itself? I'm going to times it by what? 300. So 300 sine 38 equals x. So now I'm going to bring out my handy dandy calculator. And I'm going to go 300 trig button sine 38. And I get 184.7. I'm going to round up. Feet equals x. So it's 184.7 feet in the air. All right. Who has a graphing calculator at home? Any of you? So how do you do trig functions at home? What do you usually put them into? Do you put it on your phone? Okay. So here's my phone originally, right? I found the calculator. All right. It has no trig information on it. So I turn it sideways. Do you guys see where it says sine, cosine, tangent? Okay. So I just have to do it. When I do it on my phone, I kind of do it backwards. I plug in 38. And then I push the sine button, and then I times that by 300. I still get the same answer, but I have to do it backwards. So I put 38 in, then the sine, then times it by 300 when I use my iPhone. You guys okay with that? So nobody should come to me and go, Miss Murphy, I couldn't do it because I didn't have a calculator? Because you have one on your phone. Yeah? Okay. Number 2, I'm going to draw the picture, and then I want you guys to solve on your own. And then we'll check to see if you got the right answers, okay? A ladder leaning against the wall makes an angle of 74 degrees with the ground. If the foot of the ladder is 6.5 feet from the wall, how high on the wall is the ladder? Okay, so first, here's my wall, here's the ground. I drew that part, right? We know that meets at 90 degrees, right? Unless we have some funky walls. You do not want your wall and your ground to meet at a different, right? 90 degrees. Okay, and then I've got my ladder leaning up against the wall. Here's my ladder. Sometimes I draw a little ladder. Okay. All right. The ladder leans against the wall, makes a 74 degrees with the ground. So do I put 74 degrees up here or down here? Down there. Okay. If the foot of the ladder is 6.5 feet from the wall, how high is it up on the wall? Where do I put 6.5 feet? Okay, let's read it again. If the foot of the ladder is 6.5 feet from the wall. So where's the foot of the ladder? Down here, right? It's 6.5 feet away from the wall, so it goes on the bottom, right? And where does my variable go? What am I trying to find? The height of the wall or the hypotenuse of the ladder? What is it asking me? Because it says how high on the wall is the ladder. So how high up is it? It didn't ask me what's the length of the ladder, right? That would be the hypotenuse. All right, so I'm looking at angle 74, right? Listen to what I mean, not what I said. Looking at angle 74. Okay, what is 6.5 for that? Opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Adjacent, so I'm going to put a little a. And what is x? Opposite. So which one, sine, cosine, or tangent, am I looking at? I'm using O and A. Tangent. So my tan of 74 equals what? Yes. How do I get x by itself? You do the rest. I'm going to give you like 2 minutes. All right, ready? Okay, let's multiply 6.5 on both sides, right? So we should put in our calculator 6.5 tan 74 equals x, so x should equal 22.67. You get 22.67 feet. Good? Questions? All right. Number 3, I want you guys to set up the picture on your own. I'm going to read it out loud a couple of times, okay? Try to just set up the picture on your own and then we'll compare. A straight road to the top of a hill is 2,500 feet long and makes an angle of elevation with a horizontal of 12 degrees. Find the height of the hill. Okay, so a straight road to the top of a hill. Try drawing it. Use a pencil if you can, or sketch it on the side so you can cross it off if you want, if it's wrong. A straight road to the top of a hill is 2,500 feet long and makes an angle of 12 degrees with a horizontal. Find the height of the hill. Where are you going to put 12 degrees? Where are you going to put 2,500? Where are you going to put x? Make a little sketch. Nobody's going to know if it's wrong but you. Try it out. What's the worst that happens? Okay, ready? So you should have a right triangle, correct? Okay, I'm 2,500 feet long, up a hill. So where do I put that? Do I put that on the bottom, on the side, or is it the hypotenuse? Good. It is the hypotenuse. Okay, that's my 2,500 feet. Where does 12 degrees go? Does it go up top or on the bottom? Bottom, because it goes with a horizontal. Good. All right, now we've got to label this. Here's my angle. I want to find the height of the hill. Where does that go? On the side or on the bottom? Side. And this is my opposite. This is my hypotenuse. So I'm going to use which trig function? Okay. So I'm going to go sine of what? 12 equals x over 2,500. Multiply 2,500 on both sides. 2,500 sine 12 equals x. So I put that in my calculator, and what do we find, guys? Put it in your calculator. What did you get? I get 519.8. That's fine. Feet. Yes. Because we have O and H. Remember, if we look at SOHCAHTOA, O and H gives me sine. We're trying to find the height of the hill, so that has to be the opposite. Jason would be here. Yeah.
What's the sine afterwards?
2,500 sine 12 equals x. What? The answer? That's a approximately, because we rounded. Instead of an equals, it's an approximate. It looks crazy, but it should be like this. There. All right. Why don't you try the next one? Making the picture and trying to find the answer. An airplane climbs at an angle of 11 degrees with the ground. Find the ground distance it has traveled when it has attained an altitude of 400 feet. What do you guys think altitude means? So try drawing your picture and figuring out which trig function it goes with. Sine, cosine, or tangent. So label those sides. So number 4, draw your picture, and then which trig function? Okay, let's do this one. We've got our triangle. It's 11 degrees. My altitude is 400. That's straight up and down. The biggest mistake I'm seeing is people put it on their hypotenuse. Altitude straight up and down. Okay, find the ground distance. Ground is on the ground. That's my opposite. That's my adjacent. So I'm going to use which trig function? So tan of 11 equals opposite 400 over adjacent x. Uh-oh, I have the x on the bottom. What do I do? Do you guys remember from yesterday? What do you do when we have an x on the bottom? So 400 divided by x, what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x. Okay? This gives me 1, so it cancels out. X tan 11 equals 400. How do I get rid of x and tan of 11 are being multiplied, so I divide. So I get x equals 400 divided by tan of 11. So x equals approximately 2,057.8 feet. Great. If I hit that, let's check. 400 divided by tan 11. Yeah. Okay. You have 4 problems in the back. I highly recommend you draw your pictures before you leave. You got lots of time today. Draw your pictures. Check them in with me. I'll check your pictures before you leave. Okay? If you're concerned about it.